Okay, so week 3 of the 2023 NFL season, and we're already getting to that point in the year where I don't even know what's going on anymore. Well, I think just going to the bathroom and taking a solid 3-hour-long could have been a more productive use of my time. My God. I know this is the 49ers way of life, just runs, slants, and outs, but this game felt like I was watching a government torture video. Still though, this wasn't even that discouraging of a game for the Giants, with their lack of talent being so obviously clear. Yes, Evan Neal may not be able to play football, and Darren Waller still logs in a solid 2 drops a game, but, you know, actually, I don't know. I don't have anything positive to say. That's my bad. But, it wouldn't surprise me if this was the most forgettable Thursday night game by the end of the season. Where do I even start? In all of my lifetime, I'm not sure I've ever seen a game where I've watched two teams do everything in their power to throw the game away to the other team. If there was ever a game to make a full video on, it would be this one. But just to set the stage and jump straight into the madness, Justin Jefferson didn't get a single target in the first quarter, with J.C. Jackson hilariously being a healthy scratch because Vikings, then fell behind 21-10 and hopped into their own coffin because Vikings. But wait, because the Chargers proceeded to blow the lead in a few minutes because Chargers, but then the Vikings lost the lead again through whatever the hell this was because Vikings. So here we are. A little under 4 minutes left, and the Vikings' goal was simply to score, which shouldn't have been too difficult, on paper, I guess, as the Vikings proceeded to not even give their receivers a real chance, and even threw their ring in the hat for another shot at 4th down, and went for the patented check down well short of their desired destination. Fantastic. Now here's the next scenario. The Chargers have the ball on their own 20-yard line. 4th down. It's 4th and 1, and the Vikings need a touchdown. They're down by 4 points. So, you know, what would you do? Would you punt the ball back to the Vikings? Or if you're a modern age genius like Brandon Staley, the move is obvious. You gotta go for it. And they didn't even make this debatable. Herbert could have tripped forward and gotten it, but that would have just been far too easy, and the Chargers got stuffed. So, with the Chargers gift wrapping the win and dropping it on the Vikings' doorstep, Minnesota proceeded to whip out a rocket launcher and shot it at the floor with some routine touchdown drops, and because they needed to take as much time off the clock as mathematically possible for some reason, the Vikings let the clock bleed down and then Vikinged the game away with a double deflection interception, ending the game right there. What a special game. Just be truly grateful that we got to watch that affair go on between two immovable objects of choke. That doesn't happen every day.
Been here for 7 years and all I've done is lost.
Berrios on the move, pitch out A-Chain, blocked by Berrios, blocked by Armstead. Look at him dive! Look at him score! The 2nd down and goal. Oh, look at that! Shovel pass, A-Chain! A-Chain spinning, Mostert blocked in there, touchdown. 32 White going deep. Oh, he's got chosen! Beating Surtain, first 6. 2nd down and 2. A-Chain, big hole, turns it on, accelerating. You can kiss him goodbye.
Just look at it. Look at this score. This is your new legacy. All you'll be known for at least the rest of this season, if not more, is the team that gave up 70 points. Delete your franchise, sell your team, get rid of all the coaches, get rid of all the players, and take some tickets. Just take them all. Get in line for the Caleb Williams sweepstakes. I give up. You.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Well, this is exactly what I was worried about could happen with Atlanta. What if, for whatever reason, these two big burly men can't do everything for the offense? If the running game is stifled, then the Falcons' offense lives and perishes with Desmond Ridder, and boy did it just shrivel up and die today. Although I'm going to need to see another meltdown like this on offense to be really scared about Atlanta, there were just 8 too many plays where Ridder wasn't on the same page with his receivers or coaches or what be it, but the bottom of the line is, The Falcons just got railed by a Lions defense missing its soul, and what a massive win for the Detroit Lions. Seriously, not only did I just have the casket ready for you after the Chauncey Gardner-Johnson injury, but I also had the whole ass eulogy prepared, but, you know, I guess so much for that. The Lions D-line, and honestly just the defense as a whole, did what they want when they wanted, somehow, and to be honest, the Lions just looked more prepared than Atlanta did, and if they can keep grinding more wins out like this, Detroit, it's going to be you versus Green Bay for basically the entire season. Well, I don't know how, but this game was simply a tale of two halves. In the first half, the Packers rolled out with the 2022 Bears playbook and were just playing silly out there. And with the Saints just playing with more energy and confidence, this game seemed to just get away from a young Jordan Love, but whatever, it happens. Then the car crashed, and in came... Oh my, you don't know how happy I am to see this man again. Jameis Winston is playing football again, and once he came into the game, instantly everything just went to Come on, Saints, if you have Jameis on the field, you gotta let the man cook. Let him air it out, but that's honestly the problem. He couldn't. The offensive line was just getting exploded right off the line. Derek Carr was sacked 3 times in the limited action he had, and yes, I know more than anyone that the man has a horrible habit of purposely taking sacks, but when Jameis was put into the game, things barely got better. But even with everything not going super well, the Saints only held a big lead because of a punt return. A 17-3 lead is nothing to worry about at all. But here came Jordan Love. The man just stopped caring and was diming up everyone. I know it's cliche, and I don't ever want to hear a comparison to his former deceased quarterback, but Jordan Love was making special plays to bring the Packers back to win the game. A massive dub for the divisional race. It was just so impressive to see Jordan Love be able to turn around his struggles from the first half on the exact same defense that was shutting him down to come back. And these are just very important wins that you need your young quarterback to pick up. And for the Saints, you know, maybe the Derek Carr injury isn't as bad as it initially was reported to be, and, I don't know, hang in there, because things might keep getting a lot worse.
Yes!
For the second week in a row, there's not too much else to say, Washington. You just became another victim of Josh Allen doing Josh Allen things. The Commanders' defense did pretty well, all things considered, though, but you don't throw 4 picks and 0 touchdowns and win a football game, with that 1 pick at the beginning of the third just basically ending everything. A routine win for Buffalo in trying to cement themselves as a contender, and don't worry about it too much, Washington. Sam Howell can't get any worse, I don't think. Well, another blowout. There weren't too many of those, but with the Cleveland Browns finally breaking through, maybe? I never thought I'd say this, but Deshaun Watson was ballin'. For the most part, I guess. Maybe that was a strong word. And the Browns defense is on pace to be a straight-up all-time great unit. We're already done with week 3, and the Browns have only allowed a single touchdown, and that only came on a breakaway from young boy last week. Chubb, this is for you. And the Titans, your time is coming. It was a good run in the Henry era, but the crown is no longer in your possession. Simply put, this team's coaches suck, the players suck, everything sucks, but you already knew that before this game even began. Did I fall for the trap again? I know believing in the Jaguars is a cardinal sin, and the issue here is that there's about 38 things wrong with the Jaguars team, and I can't pinpoint which problem was most consequential in resulting in the Jaguars getting decimated by the Houston Texans. Jamal Agnew should never be used as a wide receiver. Calvin Ridley can't get taken out of the game by a backup corner. All the receivers need to learn to catch. There was no pass rush that made the Texans' makeshift O-line look like the goddamn 49ers, and I could go on, but that's the thing. This team has all the pieces to fix these issues, but they probably won't because Jaguars. Football is a game of momentum and culture, and it really felt like Houston was playing behind DeMeco Ryans, whereas when things went wrong for Jacksonville, they all seemed to just look around confused and silently blamed each other. And the Texans should just be so grateful that they have CJ Stroud now. In just 3 games, the man has only improved game after game, so hey, it was all worth it. I guess the old saying remains true. You play to win the game. I forgot these teams still have to play each other twice a year, and I can't remember the last time these two had a fun game to watch where they faced off. And now, don't get me wrong, I absolutely treasure watching Zach Wilson put on a clinic in passing excellence, but I can only take it in small doses. In a bad way, this was just a textbook Jets vs. Patriots game. The Jets offense was just... all jokes aside, please, just trade for someone. Anyone. The only reason Zach Wilson is still in the league is the position he was taken in the draft. Just cut your losses and admit your mistakes. I mean, he had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to take the game back, but he can't do it. He has just constantly shown that he is unable to win. He simply isn't a quarterback worthy of a roster spot on an NFL team. And meanwhile, the poor Jets defense did all they could to finally throw Mac Jones off his game completely, only for this to throw it all away. Ugly, ugly win, New England, but you're good at those, and you almost pissed it away at the end, which would have been hilarious if Randall Cobb had a little bit longer arms, but whatever, just do better. Please, both of you. The Colts just continue to be the most shocking team in the entire league to me so far. They just look like a wrecking ball at times. That defense is scary. Zaire Franklin, DeForest Buckner, and the rest of the defense made Lamar pissed off and uncomfortable for the entire 70 minutes of this slogfest. Otherwise, not much to say about Indy's offense without Diet Lamar, and yes, for Baltimore, that loss was frustrating. Watching Justin Tucker revert back to human form, and Lamar really made some bad throws, but I'm sorry. In a game with wet conditions and injury lists that just won't stop growing, and, a pretty bad no call, I'm really not even slightly concerned with Baltimore's future, especially with other guys stepping up even more with all of these absences. The offense looked great early on for the Ravens, and to me, at least, it seemed as if the plan was to use Lamar's legs way more than usual because of the conditions, which really threw the consistency of the offense out the window as the game went on. Now, I said wet conditions were a massive part of this game, but Matt Gay. The Gay doesn't even understand the concept of pressure and moistness, banging in 5 field goals, including the walk-off game winner from 53 yards out. I can't believe I just witnessed a game where Justin Tucker got convincingly outkicked. What is happening this week? But before we get into the afternoon games, I gotta talk to you about the sponsor of this video, MyBookie. MyBookie is an online sports betting website that utilizes features like parlays to make watching sports more exciting. And right now, MyBookie is offering a new welcome cash bonus offer of 10% on top of your first deposit, which means if you put in $100 to place bets on whatever team you feel like if I went with these specific ones for these upcoming Sunday games, then you will receive an additional $10 on top of the $100 that you put in. They also have a ton of other stuff in multiple different sports to get into, so if making NFL games and other events more exciting sounds up your alley, then to get started, go to mybookie.ag or click the link in the description and use promo code TubFrog on your first deposit of $50 or more, and you can receive up to $200 in your MyBookie account. Once again, that is promo code TubFrog, all caps, to claim your deposit bonus right now. So thanks to MyBookie for sponsoring this video, and with that, let's get right back to the recap.
Yep.
Hey, the Bears are putting up a solid fight and becoming my second favorite team to watch. I don't know, but there's just something special about watching a team that you think is playing at the worst level possible, only to one-up themselves just a week later. This team is so bad, they might be the sole reason Caleb Williams decides not to declare for the draft. It's just so unique to see a team this bad. In all my years of watching football, I've never seen another team look more disinterested in actually finishing the game. Mahomes genuinely just wanted to go home after the first quarter ended. And I'm not even going to try and pinpoint the blame anywhere. One person isn't the problem in Chicago. It's just everyone. The culture is 18 feet deep in the just write out the season, and just for fun, see if you can get progressively worse as the season goes on, because I didn't believe in the offense and defense's ability to get even more unwatchable, but hey, here we are. Well, I was waiting for the Cowboys to finally be tested by a real NFL team so we could actually know who they are, and the Cardinals surely aren't a real NFL team, but it didn't matter. We now know all we need to know about the Dallas Cowboys. I could go nuts right now, flip my desk, start throwing shit across the room, screaming about how embarrassing of a loss this was for Dallas, but to be honest, Arizona came into this game with a perfect game plan, and it's always better to have your weaknesses exposed early on in the season rather than, in the wild card. And somehow, with Budda Baker mentally and physically checked out, they just pushed the Cowboys around for the entire game anyways. It was like they transferred the life essence of the Cowboys O-line into Arizona's. And I know Zach Martin was injured, but even when Dallas showed some backbone, Josh Dobbs wasn't even phased a little, playing solid enough football to get the win. And even if the patch notes didn't nerf the Cowboys pretty badly before the game, I honestly don't think the outcome would have been very different. So yes, a bad loss for sure, humiliating of course, but, it happens, and as long as it doesn't happen again, there's no reason for concern. You get one of these, Dallas. You get one. Don't let it happen again. This was probably the most forgettable game of the entire week. Yes, I know Andy Dalton's back and all that, but the Panthers with no Bryce Young are just boring. They're a bunch of veterans on offense that'll put up a good fight, but not a good enough one, and the Panthers defense got shredded today, which if that keeps up, I'm not sure this team will win a game this year. And that's not even bringing up the coaching issues. 8 false starts just shows a lack of discipline, and unless you're Jawan Taylor, that cannot happen. But who cares? The Panthers aren't trying to win games, but Seattle is, and they showed just how dangerous this team can potentially be with the offense getting going in the second half behind their young Barry Sanders clone. And if it weren't for a massive defensive error in the first half, this game probably would have been over much sooner. Seattle didn't look great as a whole, but some dudes like Devin Witherspoon really showed out. And don't forget, this is a team that has been plagued by injuries, so if Tariq, Jamal Adams, and others can come back and be their old selves, maybe the Seahawks will win games like this in a much more convincing fashion as the year progresses. I would love to know who allowed these two steamy piles of to play against each other on primetime football, because this game was just terrible. The entire first half was just two of the most incompetent teams in the league outside of the Steelers defense, just making awful play one after the other to see whose talent would eventually somehow stumble into the end zone at one point. So many missed opportunities by both sides, but eventually, TJ Watt was just too much, and it really seemed like Jimmy Garoppolo got progressively more and more paranoid as the game went on, and he started making mistakes that he just never does, and things got so bad for the Raiders on offense and defense that at one point, Kenny Pickett looked competent out there. The worst offense in the NFL was picking apart the Raiders' sorry-ass defense, and the game would have ended after that last Muth touchdown, but a terrible roughing the passer call gave the Raiders life, and another drive later, Josh McDaniels took the wheel and decided to kick a field goal instead of going for it on 4th down to cut the lead from 1 possession down to 1 possession. The logic? There is no logic behind that play. A 5-point lead does nothing for you. And even if you didn't pick this up, you would still pin the Steelers inside the 15 and still need a touchdown. But no, let's rely on the defense to make a stop, and on the biggest play of the game, the Raiders dropped their safeties back fucking 30 yards deep and play cover 2. I hate this team so much. We just got picked apart skin from bone by Matt Canada. We got another blowout. There's not much else to say. Once again, the Eagles didn't even look that particularly good, but the Bucs just struggled in just about every aspect of football itself, and also kind of just got generally unlucky on several plays. But yeah, Eagles' offensive line can block pretty well, and their defensive line can tackle pretty well, and Baker Mayfield is still just Baker Mayfield. Nothing more, nothing less. I can't believe it. I can't believe that they actually let Joe Burrow walk back out onto that field, even when he wasn't healthy. At the end of the game, they literally said our best case scenario was that he didn't get re-injured. What? If that was the case, then may I ask, why the hell was he out there? I just don't understand. But there are still some positives coming out from the Bengals from this game. They won. They played horrible on offense again, but they did win. And they were finally able to get Jamar Chase out of his one static position and realized, hey, if the Rams are able to get Puka Nacua the ball, then maybe we should be able to find a way to get Jamar Chase the football. And on the other side of the ball, the Rams would have destroyed the Bengals if they didn't just get unlucky on just about every single drive and if Stafford had more than 1.02 seconds in the pocket. I mean, there was just several points where Stafford would just hike the ball and instantly tuck it and take the sack. I don't know how, but somehow they're going to need to figure out how to improve that offensive line, or this team isn't going anywhere at all. Not like they are going anywhere, but you get the point. Anyways, if you like this video, then watch this video right here I just did on how the Kansas City Chiefs built a dynasty. And no, the answer isn't just Mahomes, okay? Watch it. It's pretty good, trust me. But anyways, until next time.